Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me get caught up on stuff here. I'm going to post the link here in a second. So, just to start out, right out of the gate, um, Bruce is in Utah. I think everybody that is connected with him on Facebook, you all have seen that Bruce is in Utah. So, uh, just to go over like the last few weeks, I know we as the stream team we've missed a few weeks. Um, to address any rumors, I know a couple people were saying, "Oh, you're messaging me like, hey, have you guys, was there a breakup? Did we all get divorced?" No, we just have been super busy. I've been busy. Bruce was getting caught up from his extraction, and Greg has just been super busy done with his business and everything like that as well. So he had a son get married. He just has been super busy. So and that's where he's at tonight. Greg is busy just with some family stuff, and we were chatting the other day, and I told him, I said, don't even worry about it. Family is first and foremost there. So we are still good. We just each of us have been just so super busy. So me myself. 2.5 weeks ago, that whole, and Lisa, I know you're in here, the cyclosporiasis that is going around, don't eat lettuce or whatever. Well, I had that. So that's why I missed a few days there. I was sick as a dog for a few days. Uh, so that knocked my butt. And then, I had to extract and I had to do all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing other work, in the honey building. So just trying to catch up on things. So that's as far as me. Like in the last 2 to 2.5 weeks, I have been literally so slammed that there's some of the nights, like the other night, just to get yard work done, I'm out mowing the lawn and about to flip the lights on the mower because, yeah, the baby face. I know, Lisa. And I'll talk about that here in a second too. But it's just have to get stuff done, and there's only so many hours in the day, so it's like you work until the sun goes down. But things are good. I expect Bruce to be back on probably next week, and I'm thinking that Greg will be as well. So I'm thinking that the three of us will be together next week again, um, just to kind of catch everybody up. I know, and I've even been laxed on videos just because I've had so much stuff going on that when I was sick 2.5 weeks ago, I had to extract just after that, and I did not even want to film. It was 105 heat index in Ohio, and thankfully my brother came down and he helped me extract. So spent 2 days pulling honey, and I worked on like that Tuesday. Yeah, Lisa, you have no idea. Um, I worked on that Tuesday till the point where I was literally like stumbling in the yard and holding onto a tree. And my brother was like, Brian, you don't look good. And I said, yeah, I'm making the executive decision. I'm done. So then I went back the next day and we finished up. But I ended up pulling a record harvest out of my apiary. I've got a little over 600 pounds now. And oh, yeah, Kathy, in the last 2 weeks, I've dropped 12 pounds almost. So, yeah, you want a quick way to lose weight, get that stuff that's going around, and yeah, you'll shed weight real quick. So, yeah, but got the harvest done. Greg actually came over then on Monday. I've got some new queens. I'm kind of trying to fix the genetics in my yard. So Greg came up and he helped me with some tasks on Monday. Thankfully, I have never done that, and I sent him a message the other day, and I said, when you got 5 minutes, give me a buzz. I'm gonna ask you a question I've never asked you before. So he called and he's like, "What's up?" And I said, "I'm gonna do something I've never done, and that's ask Greg Burns to come and help." So I just have been so behind that having James, what's up, man? Having that extra set of hands in the yard the other day, it went so smooth. So I was able to get some things done. I did kind of do a recap today. I went over and had to do some work as well. So kind of finished up some things that we had set up on Monday. And I did film today. So, and filming today, I took a shot to the head here, took a shot in the back of the head. So the bees are not quite as bad, but they're still a hair temperamental. But we also discovered Monday when we were going through stuff, Greg was like, Brian, you still have like 80 to 100 pounds of honey that you could pull like right now. I've got 2 hives that they're still putting in some honey. So, yeah. So I may end up with almost, close to 700 pounds maybe. I'm thinking once I get over and extract. So I don't want them to eat it up that much. But yeah, so a lot of stuff's been going on. But that is the gist of the last few weeks. So let me do one thing here. I'm going to post the old link, and I know we may see that there. Let me pin. I haven't done this stuff in a while. Pin. Did I pin it? Did I pin it? Message pinned. I think I did. There we go. It's pinned. So that is pinned. If anybody wants to join in, do it. But I know Tom is probably going to jump in, but let me just go down through. So Michael, Ann, Lisa, Rockhaven, everybody, Spencer. Yeah, we are here, buddy. Brian, hey there, Brian. Brian, your comb honey was looking pretty good there, buddy. So Eric, what's up, man? Chris, we got everybody. Dodd in here. A lot of people in here. So Carmine, hello. Keith Spillman, what's up, buddy? Keith, when my brother is actually down in North Carolina right now, and him and his wife, they were doing some weeding around their place, and Katrina, my sister-in-law, reached down and was weeding, and it was close enough. I mean, it could have got her if it wanted to, but yeah, copperhead was literally sitting right there. So yeah, right around the house where we were sitting. Yeah. So, but yeah, welcome everybody. So appreciate the members being in here. Awesome. But like I said, tonight is kind of like a Jarrett, what's up, man? Just got me a bee trailer. Oh, awesome. That's good. And yeah, Kevin, Tom, forget it, I'm leaving. As soon as Tom gets in here, I'm going to leave as well. So, but if anybody wants to jump in. Yeah, and DC, it's been good, man. Last year I was just growing in the numbers, and that was the whole entire purpose of last year, was boost my numbers. That way I can kind of play around this year, and it worked. I had, I think, 16 colonies when we were going through the other day, and there were actually some that I found that were queenless. So I think 3 of my 5 demarays that I was messing with, we actually found were queenless. So I don't know whether they swarmed out. I don't know what happened there. But I got behind the 8 ball, and I had some resource colonies set up, and those, I think 2 of the 4 swarmed on me, because when I missed that weekend, when I was sick, I couldn't do anything. So, and then with work, I couldn't do anything, and they were in 4 framers. And I think by the time I went to add boxes on above them to give them space, I think they already had cells and stuff and swarmed on me. So yeah, I was thankful I had Greg the other day to go through stuff, because it was just, I found some things that I didn't want to find, but it's good. I mean, the honey harvest though, DC, it's been good though this year, man. I mean, my max that I ever pulled before was around 600 pounds. And I'm over that now. I'm at like 601 is where I'm at. So plus, like I said, I've got 80 to 100 sitting over there right now. I could have pulled some stuff today, but I didn't want to. Our heat index again is 100, and just doing what I was doing over there, I was sweating like a pig. So didn't want to mess around. But let me see here. I saw, so Dennis, where's Greg and Bruce? So Greg is with some family stuff. All is good. He just, he's got some things with the family he had to do. And I told him, I'm like, Greg, don't worry about it. Do that stuff. That's important. And Bruce is in Utah. So if anybody is around Utah, go on Bruce's Facebook, because I know he I think tomorrow is scheduling to meet up with some people. I don't know where. I don't know anything like that. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with Utah. But yeah, that's where they're at. So, and Kathy, almost sideliner status. No chance. Not a chance. So I think, in all honesty, I found out this year that doing the Demarest, I can get a decent amount of honey. So it's like, if I Demarest 8 colonies, like my back row is going to have 8 colonies on it, 8 in the back, 7 in the front. If I Demarest that entire back row, I Demarest 5 this year, and I boosted my honey crop to, I got 600 pounds. If I Demarest 8 next year, I'll be good. So, claim sideliner status. DC, you're funny. Jester, howdy from Ohio. Just got out of the bee yard. Yeah, I was in mine shortly after 3 o'clock, close to 4 o'clock. So, but yeah. So there we go. So Bruce says, tomorrow night, 6 p.m., going to meet at Chuck-A-Rama in Lehi, Utah. So any Utah Beaks on there, welcome to go. So yeah, like Bruce is saying, if you want to meet up with him, just get in touch with him, and you could meet up with him out in Lehi. So, but yeah, that'll be a good time. If anybody's out there, I know like Glade, there's a couple people that are going to be out there, so go hook up with them. I know you'll have a good old time. So, Jack and Danette, bee having family. What's happening? So, Tom, what's up, buddy? What, Lisa? Why is that thing giving you like the old? Lisa, here, I'm going to do this. Let's see here. Let me click the right person. Let's see here. There we go. Lisa, there. It shouldn't pester you anymore. I've done added you as a moderator, Lisa. There you go. No, Lisa, it the last like 2 or 3 comments that you put up there, it held for review. And I'm like, didn't say anything wrong. So, oh well. Soft man, what's up?
So, I don't know, just trying to get some things settled down here. So give me 1 minute here.
Oh, yeah.
I literally just jumped out of the shower and had to return a whole bunch of messages. So bear with me for 1 second here.
You're important, man. And
I just need to catch up on some things before it gets too late.
Yeah, no, do it, man. I appreciate you. So, and you have a bee by your name because you are a member. So members have the little bee. See? And if I could spend the time one day, I want to update those. That way they kind of change colors the longer you've been a member. I just need to get in here and do that one day. So YouTube just did something not that long ago where, I don't know, it was something else for members. I don't know what the heck it was. So I've been too busy. I mean, like you guys know, I haven't even been able to jump on these lives, let alone figure out little teeny bee symbols. But yeah, that's why, Ian. So James, 1 sting in each hand today. Wow. Yeah. I even got I tell you, the one that got me in the back of the head here, I got a lump on the back of my head. So I could almost tell people that somebody thumped me in the head with a stick. But yeah, that's all. So I see something in here about, that was Nightbot saying about the flaming bee juice. Yes. If anybody's curious about hot honey, I think no, I don't have any of my new labels. I actually have on my label now for my hot honey, it says flaming bee juice. So yeah,
So
let me
what's
see
new,
here. New
Brian?
comments there. Oh man, everything.
So did you do anything interesting with your colonies this last week?
So Greg came up on Monday, and thankfully, I had never, up to this point, I have never called somebody and been like, I want help.
Mm-hmm.
Never done it. I've done that twice in the last 2 weeks. My brother, I was talking to him just about having to extract honey, and he was like, "If you need help, I'll come." And I'm like, "You know what? Come down." So had my brother come help me there with honey. I knew what I had to do then with the colonies post extraction, and I called Greg the other day. Well, I messaged him and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna ask you a question. When you got 5 minutes, I'm gonna ask you a question I've never asked you." So when he called, I said, "Can Greg Burns be in Northeast Ohio?" He said, "Sure." So we lined up Monday. Um, I had gotten some Golden West Queens from Randy Oliver. I got them from OHB. I ordered them straight from California. And I had ordered them 2-3 months ago. So I ordered them a little ways back just because they sell out pretty quick. They're sold out now, I think, until like the end of August or something like that. So if you want to get them now, it's like, you're going to be doing it in August. But I got 7 of them. So basically what I'm doing with my yard, any queen that was mated locally, we pinched them. We went through all my colonies. If I found a white dot queen, I knew that they came from Greg. We left those. Any other queen that I did not see that was marked, they were pinched, and we did that work on Monday. I found a couple that were queenless, so we installed the queens, in them just because they were queenless.
Mm-hmm.
But then the ones that we pinched, I went back over today, smashed down cells, and installed the rest of the Golden West. So my plan is I'm going to have all Golden West and then all queens from Greg. I just, there were even a few, like when Greg was down there,
Yeah.
that, and I told him before we even went down, I said, "You're going to probably want to put a veil on just because even walking down past the colonies, I've been stung in the face."
Yeah,
I said, "I don't even open them. I don't do anything, and I'm stung in the face." And today I took one, even filming, took one in the forehead here, and then I took one in the back of the head. And it's like, okay, that's enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through, and like the colonies that we found were most aggressive. They had unmarked queens. So whatever the virgins are getting into, whichever drones, I don't know if there's a beekeeper in whatever mile radius around that has whatever stock. I don't know if there's feral colonies that have really nasty genetics, but I'm not going to put a queen in my yard, like moving forward, that is not mated.
Yeah, I can understand that, and that makes sense to me. You've mentioned before that it's really important that you don't have aggressive colonies because your mother is highly allergic to that, and they stay on her property. So I can absolutely appreciate that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. She actually got tagged the other day and on her arm, and it didn't stay in. It just it hit her. She was up by the house.
Wow.
So she was 150 feet away from the colonies.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's aggressive.
And yeah, and one got her on the arm, and it didn't stick in. So it did the old spin and went out, and she swatted it. And she told me then, she said, one of those little, I'm not going to use the choice words that she said, but
that's right.
she said she got one, and like even the next day, like her arm, it looked like a softball.
Did it stay localized, or did she develop anything else elsewhere, like hives or redness or itching?
It was localized right there. When she went to the ER a couple years back, and they had to give her epi and stuff like that. she took, it was like 5 or 6 stings.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and she was mowing in the front yard and doing nothing, and they hit her in the arm. She's got a 0 turn, and they come and just boom, 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 like a couple of them. And, you know, and then she knew, I mean, she was an RN, she knows, so she knew right away. She's like, something is off. So she drove to the ER, and, you know, she's got an EpiPen and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, and that's right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go finish.
No, I was going to, like, the EpiPen is sitting like right in her doorway. So if anything ever happens, you know, it's right there. But like I've told her before, I'm like, I can get the bees out of there. And she likes looking at them. She's like, as long as they're not pissy, you know, she likes looking at them on the clover, and she'll see them in her little bird bath getting drinks. She likes watching them, but it's just, you know.
Yeah. Her health is the first and the utmost of importance, and then the bees. But, you know, like you said, you went in and you're like, you know what, we're going to rectify this. So I'm sure a little bit of time and that temperament will start to calm down pretty quickly. I don't remember if you had heard me tell us.
For the most part, it has. I mean, there's still a few. Like today, there were a couple foragers that were, you could tell that, you know, they had a touch of Satan. And when I was up by my building, and I do this off camera, that way, you know, the bee lovers aren't hating at me. But if there's any that are, usually they're around my neck, you know, they're in there buzzing. And I do the old, right when I shut the camera off, I do the old like this. I start doing this with my hand, so they're pinging. And then as soon as they hit, I'm just like, I look down, and as they're falling, I'm like, all right, you're done. So come at me again.
An incident. Somebody asked here in the comment section a few minutes ago, I guess it was last week. I was not working bees, and I really haven't worked bees in the last couple of weeks very much. We've been busy with landscaping projects, but I had to do some errand running, picking up some stuff because we were running some new electrical circuits for honey equipment, basically. And I wanted to stop back by one of my customers' yards that we keep bees at. Really nice older gentleman, and loves having the bees there. But he doesn't want to cut around them anymore because they've been a little bit aggressive. And I've noticed that too. And I said, hey, you know what? Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. I'll bring a mower out. He's like, don't even bring a mower out. I've got one here. He's like, just grab this one and use it. So from time to time, I'll grab his. Sometimes I'll bring a machine out. But anyway, I went there and I was just in, street clothes. I always have my baseball cap, T-shirt, and I think I had a pair of shorts on or maybe pants. And I went up there and started mowing, and I made a couple passes. I have about 4 or 5 passes in front of them that we make so that, because it's a semi-field area, and I make a handful behind it, which backs up to a wood line. Anyway, I made a couple passes out far, a couple passes behind, and I noticed what looked to be out of the corner of my eye, a lot of activity at the front of a couple of doubled up nucleus colonies that I have there. Well, the activity was excitement toward me. I felt a couple of bumps in the back of the head, and I didn't pay a lot of attention. I just kind of tucked my head, and I just kind of keep moving with the 0 turn, right? And sometimes they'll just kind of go back and they'll leave you alone. So I'll make a big loop, and I'll come back around, and I'll make another pass going by. Not really a big deal. Well, I took one sting to the head, and then it turned into 2, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I need to hurry up, right? And then all of a sudden, those 2 stings turned into bam, bam. They hit me out. They nailed me on the side of the eye. They nailed me on this temple. They nailed me right here. A couple more in the back of the neck, and then they're hitting me under the arms. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I shut the blades to the mower off, and I'm cruising back across the front of the hives. Melissa's sitting up toward the road inside of the rental car that we had at the time. Her car was in the shop. And I thought, you know what? I need to get rid of these bees before I get back there. So I just started driving up the gravel road, and then they kind of started to back off because I smashed a bunch of them, basically. Came around to the car, still had 2, took those out of commission, jumped in the car, and I'm like, holy cow. And I'm like, I have just been lit up more than I've ever been lit up in a long time. And I'm like, I'm not happy. And I basically said, you know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to find which colonies those were. I think I know which ones I seen them. And I'm like, unfortunately, heaven is going to gain another queen. So that's kind of the outcome. I did go back out there the other day with my jacket on and mow, and I kind of paid attention. They weren't quite as fussy, but I seen another one the one that I think was giving problems. Unfortunately, I believe that one's going to have to make her way to a better life. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And I don't want any of my customers or property owners getting stung up because they're about 50 yards from his garden. And he loves the bees. And even after he got stung one day, I'm like, do you want me to, he's like, no, don't do anything with the bees. Just leave them there. They're fine. And I'm like, well, I'll cut around them. Don't you worry about it. So, but anyway, this is kind of why we don't want colonies next to houses. If you get one that gets fussy, if you have something weird happen, one of them has a rough night for whatever reason, it can turn into chaos quickly. So,
Yep.
It can be tough sometimes, but I get it.
Yeah, it's just, and then it's not fun. It's not fun at all when you're working colonies and they're like that. Not at all. Like mine, I've had a couple people. There's people that I've met at the markets that have been wanting to come over just to look at them. There's one other vendor that she has like this fear of bees. And she's like, one time, can I come over just to like look at them and just to kind of like calm, like that fear that I have. And I have not even wanted anybody to come over just because of how my colonies are. If they have a fear of bees, go walk down there now. You're gonna run away with 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it was funny because Monday, not 5 minutes before Greg got there. So a guy that has seen me there before, Lisa, thank you so much for that. A guy that has seen me out working before, he stopped, and I thought it was Greg. And my mom said somebody's pulling the drive. So I just went walking out, and here it was this other truck. And I was like, can I help you? And he said, are you the guy with the bees? And I said, yeah. And he said, do you sell honey? So then we got in the whole discussion, and we were kind of standing by the fence, and where the fence is there, you're probably, I'd say, from the very edge colony, you're probably about 40 feet.
Okay.
So, well, maybe about 30, 35, somewhere in there. But you're far enough away that, when you're not in the flight path. So you're off to the side. And we're standing there, and I said, I would walk you down closer, but I have a couple colonies that I'm requeening. Their behavior is not kosher. I said, if people stop, I said, prior years, I've walked down there. I could put my hand in front of them and stuff and show people the bees, and it's fine. But I said, let's just stay back here. And the guy ran a pest control business.
Okay.
And he said he always has a lot of questions from people that have honeybees, and then he'll always contact like a removal because he doesn't do honeybee removal. So he'll do, the wasps and yellow jackets and all that type of stuff. But he said, whenever he has honeybee colonies with customers, they're always asking him, do you know where we can get honey? So he wanted a couple of my business cards. That way he'll just give them out to people. And I didn't have any, but I gave him my website, and I told him, I said, I just direct everybody to my website. I said, I do local pickup. So we went through the whole thing. And wouldn't you know it, Tom, while we're standing there talking, one of them pinged me in the head.
Uh-oh.
And I went like this, and then it bounced off of me and went over and latched onto his arm.
If he's in pest control, I'm pretty sure he's been stung before.
And and we went up in the building because then it didn't sting him, he brushed it off. And we went up in my building just to get out of it. But I told him, I said, that's exactly why I didn't take you down by the hives. Yep,
that's right. They've got an attitude problem right now, and they're in adjustment mode.
It's just, and it's just not fun, So I hope that what I'm doing now, I've got numbers where I can play around.
Sure.
I was telling Greg there were a couple colonies that I know because of me not having time to get over there. They probably swarmed. So probably what I'm going to end up doing, here soon, is I'm going to go through the yard and just do some combines and just set colonies up. I'm not going to even worry about getting a queen for them. If I find in 2 weeks time, so from today, I'm going to go back over in a week, check and make sure that my queens are out. And then any colony that's decent sized, if there's any acceptance issue, then I'm going to get queens from Greg. Okay. So for larger colonies, if I need a queen, of course I can't get any more Golden West. So I'm just going to get, Greg's got a certain line that he said he normally doesn't sell many of them. He just kind of keeps them. But he said they're like puppy dogs. And he said, just to kind of simmer down my yard, he said he'll hook me up with some of those. That way I can get the genetics under control. But so in 1 week, I'll check if they're out. 2 weeks, I'll do a full assessment of the yard. If I need queens, then I'm going to get those from Greg. And at that point, then too, I'll kind of do some combining just to set up colonies for the winter.
Yeah.
I don't need any more in the grand scheme. I don't need any more honey. So, if I run 5-6 colonies in the winter or in the fall here, just to try and get a little bit of a fall crop, it's fine. If I get 100 pounds of fall honey, that I absolutely love fall honey, I'll be ecstatic. But all the other colonies, I just want to set them up at this point here. I'm just going to set them up for winter.
Yeah, same. And that's going to be our goal too. We actually haven't pulled any of the honey supers yet. We were in the bees on Monday morning for a couple hours. We went to 2 different bee yards. We had some students from, a couple of them had already graduated, but they were helping out. So you're familiar with the APIS program that's done through the USDA, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, that's the University of Nebraska, covers Nebraska, Kansas, and our state. So they had called us again. We did the survey last year, which where they come out to a couple different bee yards and they sample a handful of colonies in each. I think they did 8 to 10 colonies, did mite washes on 5. And anyway, so there was 3 young ladies that came out. Melissa and I said, hey, you know what? We'll go through any of them. But we did find a couple colonies that somehow were not queen right. One of them, I think, was lane worker. The other 2 weren't, but we didn't see any eggs. And those were the last starts that I had done. I'd used a couple Corey Stevens virgins when I seen them at the Missouri State Conference here, I don't know, less than a month ago. But anyway, the short of it is we had found a couple of those. So I said, hey, I said, you can test, because they go in and test all sorts of things. They take some live bees, they do mite test, trophy test, comb test. They'll take the bees back and check for viruses and disease issues and things like that. And they'll send me all the results. So they're going to do their nice panel on their at the lab. So, I get it back for nothing. So there's, nice. I think Dodd actually posted something. I think they were at his place on Sunday, if I remember right, because Melissa pulled it up as soon as they were leaving one of our yards on social media. And she's like, oh, they were just at Dodd's place. And then they were moving to a couple other beekeepers that I know here in the St. Louis area before they moved out. But anyway, so we participated in that program again this year. They only mite tested 5. I had 2 colonies test 0, 1 colony test 2, 1 colony test 12, and 1 colony test 24.
Oh, wow.
The one that was 24, it didn't have supers on it. So I think that was one I had. I didn't look at the lids on all of them because we went through them pretty quickly. I think that was one I had problems with early on. So my guess is we'll still treat it and see what happens. But if it doesn't get right or has issues, I'll after the treatments, we'll probably end up combining that with something else. Kill the queen, combine it with something else. But that's what we're going to be on the move for too. I'm not going to do any more increases this year. I don't see the point in it. Yeah, it's like pushing a rope up a hill, trying to get queens mated. There's more dragonflies out there at a lot of our yards, birds sitting in the fence lines, and I'm not content with poor odds. So I'm not going to do any more. We'll just combine things back, treatments, and get the honey pulled off. And then at that point in time, we'll feed as needed and basically get them ready for winter. Is kind of my only goals I have set forth for the rest of the year. So we'll see how it plays out. We can make additional splits for our operation this next year, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I mean, like when Greg come over, so we kind of looked at the yard, and then I had to go walk back into the woods and do something back with my feeder that I have back there. And I told him, I said, let's look at the yard, and that way I can tell you like what is set up, and then we'll walk and we'll talk out what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, instead of standing down there and having to put up with the pissiness of the bees, and I told him, I said, in the grand scheme, if just seeing how my honey harvest went this year with the number of colonies that I had set up to pull honey from, I said, in the grand scheme, there's 16 colonies sitting there right now.
Yeah.
I said, if I, do some combines, and even if I go into the winter with like 12 that are very healthy, strong colonies, I'd rather go into the winter with like 12 and then come out with like 10, 9 or 10. And then I have more wiggle room, because if they're large going in, I then could split a couple next year. I just have more wiggle room.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, if I can get 12 or so, good. If I can get 13, that's, one better. But that's all I'm going to do. I just want strong colonies going in, and I'm going to start now. Now, I normally use July is my OAV month, but I do have some brood breaks going on now just because the queens are pinched. So that's going to help out a little bit. And with those new queens going in there now, I'm going to give it 2 weeks time, and then I'll start my OAV. I don't want to be zapping them every few days when I've got queens in cages and stuff like that. I don't want to play with that.
Yeah, I believe the more stressors that you cause on a hive, or maybe that you're not causing, but just environmental stressors that are naturally happening, that is definitely going to play with your odds of acceptance and a lot of different things. So I don't know that sometimes people may not even think about this. This could actually, if there's a lot of stressors out there, say heat, lack of forage, lack of proteins, all these sort of different things that may be environmental that are out of your control, that can be the time whenever the bees become a little bit more weak and they're more susceptible to viruses, because we all know that the mites are reproducing just nonstop. They're just going to be
like crazy.
Gangbusters. So likely that these colonies are going to become ill with something, by the time you start to hit your peak season, really. And people may not really think about that a lot, the more bees you have, the more mites you potentially would have too. So, sometimes you can produce monster crops off of colonies, and you come back and mite wash, and you're like, holy cow, I've got 15 mites in there. I've got a dozen mites in there. And, you're like, well, more bees, more mites, right? So they were growing the same as the bees were.
Yep.
So
no, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And, it was funny because like our nectar flow is about, we're getting about at the end of it. And today I got a box in the mail. It was Hive Alive.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was, I didn't even order it. I just got an email because I do that affiliate thing with them, and, I help them out.
Sure.
I got this ping email the other day, and I looked, and I'm like, what in the heck did I order that FedEx is delivering?
Right.
And I'm like, I had no clue. And then I looked at the whole thing, and it said 3 boxes. And I'm like, what in the heck did I order? And it said it weighed 51 pounds. And I'm like,
holy cow.
I'm going through like Amazon and stuff. I'm like, did I like, when I was like
something
out of my mind, I'm like, what the heck did I do?
Right.
And it was coming through this shipping distribution thing. So I couldn't even look up who the original sender was.
Okay.
So when I get it today and I look at the box, I open it up and I'm like, Hive Alive. So, and they had sent me a big thing of those pre-filled pouches. You have no idea. I'm like, when I go back over the next time just to check, because we'll be at the tail end, like I left enough, there's enough weight in the supers that, if our flow shuts down, they're not going to be without. I left them with enough. Okay. But I'm going to go back over and I'm going to throw those pouches on them, because I'm like, the things arrived at a perfect time. I can just couple little holes in them, slap
Yeah.
those jokers on, and there you go, girls.
I think that I got from Brad, I think it was last year. He was leaving one of the meetings and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "You need anything?" I'm like, "What do you got?" You know?
He didn't
And
want to ship it back.
right. And he's like, "Well, I got these, different things." And I'm like, I use the big jug of concentrate. That's what I'm using. I'm like, the little bottles don't really interest me, but I'm like, I'm like, hey, I can give those away. I'm like, I got a couple different avenues to give those away at club meetings and stuff like that if you want to get rid of them. Anyway, so he gave me a box of the pouches and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'll try them. I'm like, I've got some nukes that I can throw them on just for the heck of it. And I think that I did that.
They work good.
Yeah. They're super easy. I mean, if you're looking for something that's just, plug and play, or it's super easy for you, you don't want to mix up sugar syrup, anything like that. You don't want to measure out the Hive Alive to put in there. I mean, buy those bags. I mean, you can get them in like a box. I don't remember how many's in there. And you just slap them on top, put your shim on, poke a few holes in it, close it up, walk away.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're super darn easy. So, they hit here at a perfect time, and I don't know what else they got coming here. I have no idea, but whatever it is, there's 2 other boxes, and total altogether weighs 51 pounds. So,
yeah, got some good stuff there.
I love those guys.
We've been using Hive Alive now for a few years, and people ask me, "So, what do you think?" And I'm like, that's a really good question. I said, I haven't done any side-by-side field testing, so I cannot give you some sort of data that says, when I tested this yard, 10 colonies didn't have it, just regular syrup. 10 colonies didn't have any syrup at all. 10 colonies had syrup with Hive Alive, and this is how they all did. And then maybe repeat that in like 2 or 3 yards. That could give you a really good idea. And I'm like, I would love to do that. I'm like, but that requires time. It requires timing, and it requires dedication. And right now, I don't have the luxury of that. So I said, at some point in time, I will. But I'm like, and everyone can say, well, I use it a lot just to help keep feed from fermenting. Now, typically I mix it and I put it on right away. But there's times that I take the whole tank off the truck and I can't get back to it for a few days or a week, and there's still syrup feed in there. And if there's still 50 or 60, 70 gallons in there, that's quite a bit. I don't want that to go to waste. So, people say, well, you can use bleach. Yeah, you can use this. You can use that. Absolutely, you can. But I'm like, I actually think that, again, I notice a difference that the colonies are doing well. We don't have huge losses with the operation, how I'm running it now. I'm not saying we have far better than everybody else, but I'm saying it's very, very acceptable numbers. Like, I think we were at like under 20% this year. I'm very happy with that.
That's good.
Love to get better, but I feel like what I'm doing is very cost prohibitive for that, so we continue to buy, you go to Nabi and you get that huge jug, which will mix up like, I don't know, a few hundred gallons or something. It's pretty economical in my opinion. So that's partly why I use it. And like I said, at some point in time, I'm going to do a couple different yards, and I'm going to do 3 different groups in there. Some no feed, some just regular syrup, some with the Hive Alive additive. And I'll do that over a few different yards, check it over a couple weeks and see what I see. So I'll have to document all the hives, where they're at, how many frames of brood, what the queen looks like, pattern, all this sort of thing. And then kind of get an idea from there to see if I notice a difference in it. So, we use it too.
Yeah. Clay's saying, Brian, my wife said, what looks different about you? And I said, he shaved. Yeah. After, I don't know, 2 years. Yeah. So the last time I shaved before the other day, my wife and I were on vacation down in the Caribbean, and we were going to go scuba diving. Yeah. And I told her, I said, I'm going to have to shave while we're on vacation. She said, why? And I said, yeah, you can't be like 50 feet under the water and have a beard.
The mask. Yeah. The mask doesn't work out.
I shaved when we were down there, but then as soon as when we went diving, then I never shaved the rest of the vacation. I looked like
just let it grow back.
Yeah,
I've done that before too, not diving specifically, but even snorkeling, because you don't get the pressure to push the mask up against your face. Now you can use on the mask. I'll keep it short up here, but then you can also put that. What's the stuff called Trident or something like that? It's basically like a chapstick that you can smear in here that kind of helps to seal it up better against any kind of facial hair.
Yeah.
So I've used that before. It seems to help. It's just not foolproof.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you all, you know, I'm always, I don't care what people think or whatever, but from February up until right now, I am down, let me see here, 35 pounds almost. So the Brian in the beginning of the year,
he's bulking up.
See, the Brian at the beginning of the year had an extra chin.
Yeah.
So a beard tends to hide that stuff.
That's
right. I finally looked the other day, and I've been kind of going, you know, shorter and shorter and shorter with the beard. And the other day I was going to trim it up, and I finally just looked and I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting it off. If I've got a second chin still, well, it can be there. That's fine. And I shaved it, and I'm like, you know what? Chin don't look half bad now.
There you go.
When my wife got home, I texted her and I said, I got a surprise for you when you get home. And she's like, what is that? I said, I'll show you when you get home. And right when she walked in, she said, what'd you do? Screw up shaving? I said, you know, I'm like, because she knows, like, for me to shave it off like that, yeah, that takes a little bit. But, I said, no, I said, I you know, got the buzzer and cut it as short as what I could, and then I just shaved it. So,
but felt kind of weird that shaving after not doing it for several months or even years. You know,
it's been years. Well, and the biggest thing I noticed is like around like my lip, you know, like when I sit there and I'll sit there and like go, you know, with the pup. Right. And when I do that, his hair, it tickles the heck out of my face. it's just, I've noticed that like around my face and that, because I mean, I haven't had skin like this it's been years. It's just more sensitive.
That's right.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
So it is
It'll be
what
a
it
change
is.
For you.
So, oh yeah. So Eric lost 40 pounds since Nabby. Wow. Yeah. I'm down. And I'll tell you what, in the last, 2.5 weeks, I mean, I'm down like 11 or 12 pounds or whatever it is. So I lost 7 pounds in 3 days from that GI thing that's going around.
Oh, wow. Diarrhea. Yeah, that's not a good reason. That's not a good way to do it, but nevertheless, it might be an opportunity to capitalize, you know?
Between a GLP-1 that my doctor has me on for the diabetes now, and that, you know, explosive visits. I heard Melissa back there, you know, explosive visits to the old ceramic god.
That's right. The porcelain throne there.
Yeah. When I weighed myself, I dropped 7 pounds in 3 days. And I'm like, I told my wife, I said, I feel like a fighter, and I'm like trying to cut water weight for a fight.
I used to have a buddy back in high school that wrestled. They would do that. This is going to sound a little bit disgusting, but what those guys do in order to get down to a certain weight class, they'll basically kind of dehydrate themselves. They'll keep spitting into a jar or like a bottle, basically, all day long, and they just keep doing it. I'm like, man, you guys are nuts, man. I'm like, I just don't see the benefit. And it's like, well, I need to make weight, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is why I don't wrestle. You know, I'm like. It just said, I don't see the point, but whatever, teach their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin's here is asking, Brian, I saw you mention Stream Team on the Nabby page the other day. Does that mean you're now going? Yet to be determined.
Follow up with future Stream Team visits to know if they will be there.
Determined. If you do want to see us, though, you could drive from the eastern side of PA up to Wisconsin. I do know we'll be in Wisconsin.
That's right. I believe that, let me check my calendar, Brian, but I believe that is the last weekend. That is January 29th and 30th, right? Yeah,
Well,
29th and
so
30th. That's a Friday and Saturday. Oh, wait, I take that
yeah,
back. 28th for
yes,
Brian Coper and Castle Hives,
yes,
teaching some courses that day.
the
And then
beekeeping.
there'll
Yeah,
be, and
yep,
then the 29th and the 30th. So if you
yeah,
are a beginner beekeeper in here, make your way to the Midwest Honeybee
yep.
Expo in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I'm telling you what, those guys, Bill Warning, Doug Coulterman,
Oh, they're great.
amazing guys. They're
Yeah,
awesome, very business minded, very business savvy,
yep,
community oriented. Um,
yeah,
I actually heard, I'm going to brag on Doug just for 1 second. He probably would be a little embarrassed to hear me say this, but he actually said to me, he said, Tom, when him and I were just having private conversation, this is not something that he's going to be concerned about, but he said, Tom, he goes, I would rather lose a little bit of money and have an amazing conference with top tier everything. Take care of the speakers, take care of the vendors, take care of the participants, and make everybody happy than to make a dollar bill on this. And I'm telling you what,
yeah,
this guy is full of integrity. And him and Bill, the two partners, I've had great conversations with both of them. Melissa and I, of course, were up there last year visiting with you guys, teaching the comb class and hanging out with the stream team. Got to go on there and
yep.
cut up with the stream team. That was fun.
Oh yeah,
Just hang out all weekend with friends, made some new ones, hung out with old
yep,
ones, and it was a good time. Looking forward to it again
yeah,
this January too. So
yeah.
put it on your calendars, folks.
It'll
I'm
be
telling you, it's a
yeah,
rocking conference. It really is.
it'll be fun. And I tell you, I don't know many conferences that size that are doing like, I mean, to start out and do a full day beginner
Yeah,
beekeepers course,
that's
plus all
right.
of the other, people, well, you learn the basics of beekeeping, and then you want to learn, well, what can I do as far as honey extraction? We'll go and do some cut comb, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can
That's right.
sit on them
You
in
want
on
to
those sessions, and yeah, it's a
sure.
fantastic conference. It is.
Well, and so like the extra workshop classes. So what Melissa and I are teaching, Stephanie Slater, she'll be teaching a class as well. She was just in St. Louis last night. Here, she was one of the American Honey Show Training Council judges. A great one, by the way. She was here giving a presentation to the EMBA, but she'll be there doing a class on lip balms. Kevin Montavon, is that right? Montavon? No, not Montavon. Kevin with creamed honey. Help me out, guys, in the chat. It's not, why did I say Montavon? That's a different guy. I'm having a mind blank. Brian, who am I talking about? Kevin
Monfelt.
Monfeld. Yes. I mean, he's kind of like him and Brian Flower Street are kind of like the creamed honey guys. They're kind of
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
connoisseurs. Maybe the
yeah, yep,
creamed honey kings. I don't know. Kevin will be doing his class. Melissa and I'll be talking again and giving a comb honey presentation. We'll have a lot of cool discounts with a few vendors. We'll have some giveaways in our class. So those workshops are additional money on top of the conference fee,
it's
but it's
minimal though.
minimal. It's super minimal. And honestly, I think everybody's going to walk away with you can get discounts at a few different vendors with us that'll be there if on comb honey type products and such. So we're definitely looking forward to it. So there's a lot of value there for people if they want to up their game a little bit in
Yeah,
different areas. Or again,
yeah,
if there's any new beekeepers here in the chat, definitely a place to go. You will be
yep.
taught by the one, the only Brian with Castle Hives.
There'll be another guy there as well, so it's going to be fun though. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be good. I know Greg was saying that he's going to do another panel.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to do a stream team thing, plus Greg's going to do another panel.
That'd be awesome.
So there's going to be a couple things. So yeah, and I know when we did our live last year, it was at the end of the day. Everybody was tired.
Yeah.
We really didn't advertise it like I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
this next year is going to be different.
Yeah.
So we're going to get somebody that isn't going to be at the conference, that is going to be a draw. So
Cool.
we're gonna kind of switch it up and plan some things out. It's going to be advertised. It's just I was talking to the guys up there, and I told them, I said, we can probably line up somebody that is unable to make it to your conference.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
way, there's we eliminate them
Year.
having to contact them and everything. We can do it. We've had so many guests on the live streams that really whoever it is, we could snag somebody and advertise it out and kind of do a panel discussion thing there. And I want to get more audience participation too. So
definitely. That those are always fun. So you're talking about Greg doing a panel discussion. I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
So I moderated the one at our workshop at the EMBA this last year, and we're going to do another one. They are really, really fun, especially whenever they're led by the audience. I always tell people, I'm like, bring the hardest questions that you possibly can. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to give you an answer. I may just tell you I don't know, but I'll find out. Those are really fun, and a lot of times it's you giving your experience on something too. And helping to enlighten people. So I always felt like certain conferences left out. So you have beginner beekeeping courses, and you have really scientific based experience classes, but sometimes that middle guy, that second, third, maybe third into fourth, depending on how much education you get, maybe even fifth year, that middle guy somewhere in there, given that particular person or gal education too, So that's one area, like at our conference at the EMBA, we kind of tried picking that up. And so we have a full beginner, full intermediate, and a full experience. So trying to capitalize on that. And I think that, again, Bill and Doug, they have really capitalized on that. There are a lot of different presentations being given, panel discussions. I sat in on the one that Greg had done this last year. I love those, man. Hearing different perspectives on things. That's top notch to me.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed that. I mean, the three that he had on there, it was a good discussion. It was. Yeah. Yeah,
Definitely.
that was nice. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to going back up there. So yeah. Hopefully the weather won't be that crazy,
Oh, definitely.
It's always hit or miss in Wisconsin.
We've kind of, stayed away from any big storms when we were out there the last 2 years, Let's see, last year it was actually pretty reasonable. If I remember right, the temperatures and weather was pretty nice. Now the year before when we were up there, it was a little cold, not a little, it was a lot cold, a little bit of snow on the ground, but no big snow. So that was nice. So, that's the downfall to being in the upper Midwest in January. I mean, shoot, those guys could have gotten a foot of snow, you never know.
Right.
So it's hard to say what'll happen. So
yeah. Yeah. No, it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun. So, and
we're looking forward to it.
Louisville, however you say that town, Lowellville. I don't quite know yet. So
yeah,
we will see. So Jarrett, you take care, buddy. I see you got to run. So yeah, good seeing you too, man. But yeah, and I'll tell you, I've been doing some work there over in the old bee room also now. Mm-hmm. So I got the mess that I had. Well, it wasn't a mess. I just didn't. The room where all my bee stuff is, it was years ago, it was used as a chicken coop. It's on the side of my mom's garage. She had the chickens in there. Mm-hmm. So I cleaned it out. I made it my bee room. Well, there was still a wall in there with a door, and it had chicken wire on it because one side she would keep feed and all that stuff. The other side is where the chickens were. Mm-hmm. So I went over, and it needed a couple. Mr. Brian Lee, I appreciate that. For the honey bottle fund. There we go. Mm-hmm. That's right, Brian. The honey bottle fund.
Hey, Brian, how's it going, man?
It's running wild, man. But I went over and replaced a couple wooden boards on the outside of it that were just from a mess that was done. They were rotting, so I got the outside of the garage repaired up. On the inside, my dividing wall in there, I got boards up, so it's all nice and divided out. I got some lighting hung and stuff the other day, clean stuff up. I'm going to go over and paint. So I've been doing so much darn work that, like, when I went over today, I walked in there, flipped the switch, turned the lights on, and I'm like, this place is looking fantastic. You know, the Maxent is sitting in a permanent spot now. Uncapping tank is sitting in a permanent spot. You know, it just all, it's coming together. So
that's awesome.
I even shifted those frame racks that I built. I shifted those to a different spot and got those repaired up. They've been sitting in place for 5-6 years or so. So I kind of strengthened those things up, fixed where they needed a couple extra little screws, but yeah, a lot of work been going on. So Brittany's botanical.
Yeah, she's kind of squaring you up on how to say Louisville. You gotta say Louisville.
Oh yeah, Louisville. Yeah, I'll be at Nabby for the first time. Oof! I'm telling you,
Brittany, you will enjoy yourself tremendously. I would say get plenty of sleep before you go. Right, get all your sleep in before you go, because it is going to be a whirlwind when you get there. So many people that you're going to meet, so many people that you'll potentially already know. I mean, you're going to walk miles inside of this large facility and building, right? And then it's just going to be, you're going to have an absolute blast. Of course, Melissa and I are going to be hosting the party again. We haven't got all the details squared away yet. Hopefully Brian with Castle Hives can make an appearance this year, right? I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It'll be on Wednesday night again, so it's going to be before everything kicks off. It's going to be Wednesday night from, I believe it's going to be somewhere between 6 and 9 or 6:30 and 9:30. I think somewhere about like that. So pay close attention on social media. We'll be putting some stuff out there and hoping that everybody wants to fund it again. You know what? It's several $100s for the facility. I've already been in talks with that, trying to get some things potentially nailed down with that. But then, you know, if we want to do, Melissa mentioned maybe earlier on, maybe doing like a taco bar or something. We kind of had hashed a few things out and kind of just chatting through some stuff.
The tickets are free. That's why we ask for funding.
Yeah.
So we ask for funding because the tickets are free, but we have to be able to cover that because Tom is not rich. Melissa might be, but Tom is not.
Exactly.
So, you know, we gotta figure out how to fund this thing, Brian. So anyway, it's gonna be a good time. So you'll really enjoy yourself.
Best thing I'll say too when you're going to an expo of that size is look at what you need also. And this has always been the lore for me is I've looked at who's the new guy? That's funny. I've looked at what equipment do I need next year. And last year when I went down there, I bought, I think I had 160 of Michael's 21st B frames in my car, and the rest of it was filled with Premier. So the cost that you're going to spend on the ticket and then a hotel night for 2 nights or whatever it is, you're going to make that up if you buy equipment.
Guaranteed.
What I will say also is this: write a schedule. And if you want to see certain specific speakers at certain times, make sure you have that schedule. And like what I did last year is I used the app that they had, but then I put on my personal calendar those specific, speakers. That way I would get notified like 15 or 20 minutes beforehand. So if I was out talking to whoever it was, I'd get a ping on my phone and be like, 20 minutes, I got to be in room, whatever it is. So keep a schedule, because
that's right.
If you don't, you're going to be overwhelmed out in the trade show and you're going to be looking at this, that, and everything. And then you're going to miss, if there's a certain handful of speakers you want to see, you'll miss every single one of them.
Brian,
So,
I miss every speaker almost every year because my lovely wife, she keeps me in the trade show floor. All she does is want to talk the entire time, Brian. I don't even know what to do. How do you solve that problem? If you have a wife who is a social butterfly, a great, beautiful woman, social butterfly, how am I supposed to get in any of these classrooms and actually get a little bit of learning on, you know? I don't
you'll
know. I
never
mean,
win that
maybe,
battle.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe people can drop in the comments. Give me some ideas here. Help a guy out. How do I solve this problem?
You will never win that battle.
I don't think so.
What
I may
did
just have to wave the white flag.
what I did was I had my wife go with me to a conference, and we hit a monstrous blizzard, and we almost died going through Kentucky.
Oh, that's not good.
Ever since that time, my wife has never attended another beekeeping event with me. Every time I go, she's like, "You do you, dude." That's what she'll say. She'll be like, "You do you, dude."
She
I'm
goes,
not
I
going
love
down
you,
and I'm not dying.
but go. Right.
So go ahead. If you want to do that, that's on you.
Jonathan Stevens has an idea here. He dropped a little comment in there with an idea of how I would be able to get to a class. This, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. I don't know. Is that illegal? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. It'd be like roofing your spouse. Is that? I mean, can you do that?
I'm not saying that this is what you could do or not, but you know, here, sweetheart, let me get you a sweet tea.
Oh, there you go.
You know, if the sweet tea happens to have 50 or 75 milligrams of Benadryl in it, you know.
But here, if I'm thinking out loud, here would be a problem that I would have to cure here. If I give her too much and she's on the trade show floor, does that mean I have to fireman carry her like this?
I have a cart.
To the car.
I have a cart.
I mean, she just kind of halfway falling asleep. I mean, listen,
Tom, I have that cart. You could prop her up like Weekend at Bernie's.
That cart would probably haul 1,000 pounds. That thing was like the monster. Melissa said to me, she goes, I should get that. And I'm like, you should absolutely not get that cart that Brian had. Definitely don't get that cart. I mean, that thing was like, it was huge. It was like our little bitty cart thing that Melissa bought on steroids. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Just prop her up like Weekend at Bernie's. You could we'll put like a pulley system with ropes on her arms and
she'll her arms like this and she can wave.
put a little coconut drink in her hand with an umbrella.
There you go. You think we should prop her eyelids up and then tape them up, or do we put little toothpicks in the corners?
Put like a straw hat on her head with shades.
There you go, shades. That's it.
Like this with her arms waving to people.
Yep, I like it. I'm telling you what, Brian, we could come up with something spectacular for that. I really think we could. I'm pretty certain that we could come up with something spectacular.
The drive home for you probably would not be a pleasant experience.
I think you're right.
But
I think you're right. I would probably have to take a flight from the airport back to St. Louis, I think is what would have to happen.
But just think of the memories.
Oh, man, they would be priceless. We would tell them for years. Brian, we would be telling these stories for years to come, right?
Just think of the AI photos that we could generate.
This is getting dangerous, really dangerous. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just so he can witness you drugging me.
Oh, yeah. Melissa just said that Brian is definitely going to come to Nobby now, folks, because he wants to witness me roofing her is what it's going to boil down to. He wants to set up the whole pulley system with her waving, the straw hat with the shades, the whole Weekend at Bernie experience. He wants to get into that, guys.
Yeah.
Bernie was dead, though.
Yeah, well, you're not going to be dead, so just asleep for a while.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, and you could even be like right here, late night honey tasting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't know what was in the honey. It could have been funny honey. I don't know.
We don't know.
Melissa, I have no idea what happened. What? There was something in. Oh, come on.
Amber says a cardboard cutout of Tom. I love this.
Yeah.
These comments are priceless.
Good stuff.
They're great. You guys give me all kinds of great ideas here. I'm not sure. Well, actually, I don't know if they're great ideas. They're ideas that I like, but I don't know if they're great ideas because those might get me in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
So, I mean, listen, guys, I am easily influenced. That's the problem. You know, weak mind. Yeah. And just easily influenced. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like a high school kid.
Yeah. I'm so behind on comments that I can't even, not even.
Oh, hold on. I think I have a ride. Eric said he can get me as far as the arch. That's right, because Eric will stay on 70, head further out of St. Louis. So you can just open door, kick me out. I'll tuck and roll. And then,
from the arch, I mean, Uber.
Yeah. Shouldn't be too bad from there.
Uber. There you go. How far are you from the arch and that down there?
About 35, 40 miles. And I'm mostly west, slightly southwest.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder, I know I had to have been close to you without even knowing it when I was working out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because you were staying down in the city of St. Louis, right?
Yeah, I was staying, it was a Residence Inn that was by that mall.
By the Galleria?
Oh,
by the Galleria?
Mall. Galleria, yep.
St. Louis Galleria? Yeah, you would have been about.
I would just walk across the street. It was right up around the corner.
Yeah.
Because there's a bus or the train, whatever the heck they have. There's a drop off right there. Yeah, the Metro. Because I could, if I wanted to go downtown, I mean, I had a car, but if I wanted to go to the one downtown hospital, it was easy for me just to hop on the Metro and I could take that straight to the hospital.
Okay.
Because it was at Big Barns downtown by WashU. We did all the hospitals out there when I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Big Barns, that is right off between Highway 40 and Highway 44 is where that's at. So yeah, you still would have been about 35 miles from where I'm at. But see, that was before I actually even knew you when you were coming out to St. Louis, right?
If I showed up out there and been like, hey man, I think in a couple years we're going to be talking on YouTube, you would have been like, get the heck? You would have done this and been like,
I know, right? It's like, hey bud, keep walking,
we're going to be talking on what? This was
keep walking.
Let me see. I was married in 18 and this was before that. So this would have been 17 up to 18 in there. Cause I was in St. Louis a little over a year.
That we didn't start keeping bees until 18 actually. So we
you wouldn't have even been a beekeeper.
Into it. We weren't a beekeeper.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still not one, but I was definitely lesser of a beekeeper at that point. So
yeah. Right there, Back to the Future.
That's right. I could go back and say, Brian, and he'll be like, who are you? And be like, you don't know me, but I know you. And you're like, oh, this sounds like a creeper event.
Yeah. Yep. I could have shown up at your door and been like, you are going to know a guy that eats stink bugs in a couple years.
I would have thrown rocks at that guy too, for sure. I mean, definitely.
He's
awesome. One of my best buddies now, but
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. But
good time, man. It's just all the fun memories and all the fun people that we meet going to these different events and such.
That's crazy.
I mean, not only is it a great educational learning experience for what our hobbies are, but it's a great way to build up some great friendships that we kind of carry on. I mean, most of you guys, I text on a fairly regular basis. So
yeah. Except me, it's just very rare. I kind of watch the phases of the moon, and if they're saying that there's like some rare blood moon or something like that, I'll know. I'll be like, oh wow, cool. I'm gonna get a text from Tom. There's like a harvest moon or something like that. A couple months later, I'm like, cool. I can finally finish the conversation with Tom.
See, there you go. Right.
Oh man. See, and I even got
Jace,
I got new spectacles on here tonight too.
I was wondering that you definitely look different. I knew it was the beard thing. I'm like, you must have got got a haircut, got the beard,
I got haircut. Look at that, trimmed it all up. Got non-glaring spectacles.
I mean, you're looking like super dapper tonight. Shoot.
Yeah.
So
the other
Jace had a question.
Let me see. Where's it at? How far up is it?
He said via honeybees, is it for anyone specific? And I believe, Jace, you're talking about the dinner at Nobby on that Wednesday night before. It is not specific. Anyone can come. What we are going to have to do, like we had done last year, so for anybody who is unfamiliar, Wednesday night, we had, okay, Melissa just dropped in there, and Brian just highlighted it. There you go. We had 175. We might be able to fudge some things if we slip some people a couple $20 bills or maybe a 50 or something.
We have to stay under 200.
We have to stay under 200.
We have to get security guards.
Or we have to get security guards, which means Brian Coper has to put on a mall cop type hat, vest.
Oh no
security.
No. Oh no
with the little
I want the segue, and I want to be Paul Blart.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think we could get that in there then, because then we can go over the 200. But we have to hire security if we go over that mark. So we'll have tickets come up. Pay close attention on social media. Follow along in some of the chats, even with Stream Team and such. And but we're not going to be doing any of that planning probably until September at the earliest. We've done a little bit of initial planning on it, but nothing of any great.
Nailed anything down.
Yeah, we haven't completely nailed anything down. We've gotten the ball rolling in some areas, and thrown out some ideas there. But so stay tuned for all that. Right now, I've got way too much going on. Melissa's got me working a lot of hours, and there's no sign of the end right now. So I can't throw anything else on the plate.
Yeah,
Jason, you guys are welcome to come. We'll have those up. We'll get tickets, and they'll be free tickets, of course. But again, we'll be looking for donations and stuff to cover the venue space, food, all sorts of different things.
It's more of a community event.
Just a big community event.
It's not an us event.
It's not us. It's not Tom show. It's not Melissa show. It's everybody is what it is.
And if you're rolling and Lisa is there, she's got private security.
Oh, dude. I mean, that part would be done then. I mean, I think we got it nailed down then. At that point, we put
you'll have
a couple of security shirts, and
you're gonna have Paul Blart.
I'm telling you what, I think that between you with the Paul Blart theme going on, Melissa and Lisa, I'm telling you what, those women will shape some of those men up in a heartbeat. So I think this can happen.
Yeah.
So Jace, there really isn't a cost for it. If you wanted to donate toward it in a monetary way, you could. If you can't, that's not excluding you from coming. Okay, so that it's not like that.
We have it catered. It depends on how much money we raise.
Yeah. So Melissa is suggesting depends on how much money that people donate and raise. There's a lot of people that just donated a little bit here, there. Some people donated a lot. And we just took in all that money and then just started. If anybody was there early on last year, the back of Melissa's Explorer we have the third row in that car. So the third row was down. The second row was down. So it was like a little mini truck. That was completely full of food because what we had done is Melissa made all these lists. When we got out we took some with us. We got out to Louisville. Okay, hopefully I said that right. And Melissa already had the Sam's orders going, the pizza thing going. So we had the pizza delivered. The guy brought it in like a huge tractor trailer, it seemed like, because there were so many boxes. And then Melissa's car was basically dragging the entire way going down the interstate. Yeah, so we had a couple orders we had to scramble to pick up. We had a lot of people there helping us. So if anybody was there early on, you would have seen all the food that was in her car. And we got in there and just started setting things up. So fun event. It was great. It was awesome. So anybody wanting to donate, just hang tight. All that information will come out in the near future. Again, it's probably not going to get anything dropped out until sometime in September, probably. So we have a lot of work to get done with our own stuff before we can start really diving down into those details. So, but everybody will have an opportunity.
I would like to make it to that one time. We'll see.
You should come. I mean, we could give you a microphone too for something, it's, I mean, it'd be great. You could school us.
See? Yeah. No, that'd be fun. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. If it don't happen this year, I mean, maybe the next, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll always be opportunities.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Oh,
Who is
boy.
it?
Oh,
Who is it?
gosh.
Oh, there he is. The legend himself.
Legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men of all ages, and everybody. Let me welcome to the stage Mr. Sawmill Charlie.
Hey, what's
Is
happening?
live and present.
What's up, Charlie?
Oh, not much. Not much.
I gotta take off the glasses for this, put them up. I want to see him with my own eyes. I don't want any help. Oh,
So-
man.
Got all your honey done, did you?
You know, I did it all. It's been almost 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And when I was over there on Monday, I saw that they had a little bit more, and I'm just like, no. So I am probably going to pull it in the next week, but I don't know. I'm not happy about having to do that.
Yeah, Jace, just come on over to the party and I'll sign an autograph for you.
So, yep, right there. See? I mean,
I'm going to be first in line for the Sawmill Charlie autograph and the experience. So y'all got to get in line
Yep.
behind me.
Yeah. Yep. The sawmill experience. And it's almost like Willy Wonka. If you get the golden ticket, you will get one-on-one. No, hang on. It's like one-on-one dance lessons from Sawmill Charlie.
Hey, if we could get some, you know what would be amazing? It would be awesome if we could have some sort of live band there for part of the event.
Oh,
I'm telling you what, we clear off a couple tables. Sawmill Charlie will teach us a tune. He will show us how to get it done.
It's all about the donation.
I want to get a dude with a banjo, and then you know who else I want to get is that Spoon Lady. Have you seen her on YouTube?
yeah.
Spoon
Yeah.
Lady. I
Yeah,
want
does
to
she
get
use
her.
it on the board too, on the washboard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a banjo dude, get the Spoon Lady, and then have Charlie cutting it up. Oh,
I'm pretty sure if that could happen, we could charge for those tickets, don't you think? I mean, I'm just saying.
$74.95.
Yeah.
$74.95.
This thing is going to go big, folks.
I mean,
Thing of it is, we had 175 people there last year, and it was pretty much packed. Every
Shoot for the stars.
Out of all the tables were packed.
Well, we could have set up a few more tables out there. We didn't completely go all the way down. We could have done another row of tables in there, I think.
A row? I don't think so.
Yeah, but like Melissa just said, we're getting excited about it, but we really do have to be under 200. So there will be a cap on it. I mean, we basically had the 175, and what we've done last year is said, hey, if you reserve your ticket, which was free, but you end up realizing that you cannot go, either return the ticket through the what app did you use, or what
I don't remember.
I forget what you used.
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Or contact Melissa or I, and then we can put your ticket back in. That way somebody else can do it, because we had like a wait list. So
I'm
most
be
everybody
finding those
think,
tickets
got
on
to come.
StubHub.
You found the tickets? How much were they charging for them?
I mean, if
Premium?
we line up a banjo, the Spoon Lady, and Sawmill Charlie, them tickets are going to be like, it's going to be like trying to get a ticket to the World Cup.
Guaranteed. Yes.
I mean,
I actually would wonder if I even get to go at that point. I might get
Right.
booted out.
the organizer's going to get booted.
You will go to the door with the food and be like, "Oh, you can just leave it right here. We'll go ahead and
Yeah,
take
just
that.
leave it right
Thank
here."
you." Yeah. Go ahead. And, we'll
Paul
see you at the.
Paul Blart's going to come out and be like, "Sir, if you just leave the food right here, that's your
I can see
services
it
are
now.
appreciated." But yeah, can we see your
Maybe I can
ticket?
grease that wheel a little bit. I can slip a little money under the Segway. You know what I mean? Kind of
Right there.
grease that wheel
100
a little
easy.
bit.
100 easy.
Jace is asking about seating arrangement. It's first come, first serve. Sit wherever you can find it.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
they're
Honestly,
round tables, and they'll probably, what is there, 10 people on a table or something like that?
I believe it
15?
was 8 or 10. I can't remember now what we had put it per table. Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
8 or
that.
10. So, I mean, but honestly,
I've never been able to go just because of work.
I know, man. You need to quit doing that kind of stuff. It's just, it's not good.
Yeah, you got to quit early.
Well, the problem was up until April of whatever it was this year, I was an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So I did not have PTO. Well, I had very limited.
Well, if you're independent, you can make your own rules up.
Yeah, but then if you just take off work, you don't get paid.
There's that.
You know.
So there's that kind of problem there. So, and like the consultant company that I was working with, they gave us 40 hours PTO, but that was for whatever. So if I had to take a sick day, well, there's PTO used. So, and I couldn't, I wasn't going to tell the wife, hey, I'm going to use 3 PTO days so I can go to a bee conference. And oh, by the way, when we go on vacation, I'm not going to get paid. So that doesn't work out. But now I'll just say I took the full-time job with the hospital and they give us 28 days PTO a year. It's a month PTO.
I mean, that's not bad. The only thing that would be better is if you worked the 28 days and took the rest of it PTO. That would be the only thing that would be better.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, and you accumulated every check, but I mean, like I've been full time there, 90 days. I think I hit my 90-day mark the other day. Mm-hmm. I've used 2 PTO days, and I still have like a full week. Nice. You accumulate it so fast, and I was just like, I looked at it on my last check, and I was like, man, I got a week already. So yeah, you accumulate it pretty quick. So, and I don't ever like. Mm-hmm. I mean, we take a week vacation usually every year. So I'll use a week for that. But other than that, I usually don't use it for much. So, and you can accumulate, I think they said at this hospital, see, you could be a business owner like Tom. Yep. And just take off as many. Yeah.
I'll tell you the real trick is having a rich spouse like Melissa. That's the real trick.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Gets a new car every other month.
Yeah, I'm just like a mooch, just kind of like riding the coattails, basically is what it is.
Yep. You have to have a sugar mommy.
That's right. See, Charlie gets it. He knows what I'm saying. He gets it.
I'm going to do that right there. I'll just quit working and I'll just keep bees.
Keep bees. I mean, sounds like sound financial advice to me. I mean, what could go wrong?
I was at a 4th of July party. There's a friends of mine, their husband and wife that keep bees, and they're going to be coming to Nabi for the first time. And I said, and they're bringing a box truck. Okay. And pick out stuff and purchase. And I said, look, you got to come on. They were coming in on a Wednesday. I said, no. You got to be there, arrive Tuesday night. I said, it'll take you 12 hours to get there. And I'm not sure about this box truck. And then I said, and they're happen to be staying in the same hotel I am at. And I said, well, then we can all pile in my minivan and we can go to this party if you get out there early enough and all. So, and they've not experienced any of this stuff.
Yeah. So, it's a good one of these times I'll make it down there.
Well, just make it.
Yeah.
Just don't, not one of the times. It might not happen. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I could tomorrow I won't even be here. Wife will come home. I'll be cold.
Another fun event for anybody that's in the South, near the Atlanta, Georgia area. Actually, Mark, you're in here. What was the name of that township that the Georgia Beekeepers Association meeting was in? Is it Gainesville? Melissa said Gainesville. Is that right? I don't know if she's right. Tell me, Mark, is she right?
I'm always right.
Just settle down. Okay. Yeah, so the Georgia Beekeepers Association, that is another great one. And if you want to go, you could aggravate Michael at 21st Bee. He will be there. I'll be in the booth with him and saying a lot of things that I don't know and just listening to him and trying to ride his coattails. I'm not sure. He may even kick me out. I don't know. I'm not even sure if he's going to let me in there. But anyway, I'm going to try to get in his booth.
When when he comes back up to Ohio next year to see Jedediah, I'll see him there.
Yeah. Interesting. There was a photo that was floating around from when we were in Wisconsin. There was a photo that floated around. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, I seen a photo. Had some sombreros in it. That was good. You get to have, so anybody that doesn't come to these, you need to come to these events because we just have such a good time. Get in a little bit of trouble, not too much, but mostly
and then you got your own club conference about a month later.
About a month from Nabi ish. So that's going to be this next coming year. Will be February 5th, which is Friday, and the 6th. I think Sawmill Charlie will be there too.
Yep.
Maybe there'll be dance competition as well. What if we did like a dance competition? A Sawmill Charlie and Tom from Via. I bet you Sawmill would win hands down. I would definitely. If we did this like for a charity or something, I would definitely do it to make a fool of myself. But I still think I would lose.
Get a banjo guy, the spoon lady, and just cut it up.
So if we get a banjo guy, the spoon lady, Sawmill Charlie in Louisville, but then we bring them to St. Louis, and then maybe Castle Hive shows up. It's not going to get any better than that, folks. Better.
What else would you want in life?
I can't think of anything, honestly. I really can't come up with anything. It's
a whole competition. It starts at Nabi, it goes to Midwest, and then EMBA.
Oh, Melissa had an idea. If this competition starts in Louisville,
yes,
okay, at Nabi, goes to the Midwest Honeybee Expo at the end of January. The following weekend after that goes to St. Louis at the Eastern Missouri Beekeepers Association meeting.
Yep.
Those are 3 conferences, in a row. Yeah. That are just spectacular.
I couldn't think of any better way to start a year.
Life is good. That's all I have to say.
Charlie, you better get some good shoes.
That's what I'm thinking.
I got taps.
Oh, you're going to be cutting it up.
We might have to buy him we might have to take up a fund to get him some new ones. He's going to be dancing those things off so much.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Charlie, did you get all your honey off?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 660 pounds, I believe it was.
Oh, good.
A little bit better than what I estimated what I was possibly going to get.
That's good. That's awesome.
So, it'll get me by, not completely, but I'll get by.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a little bit?
This year was, it wasn't a lot, but the quality I think was better. It was lighter honey.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more of the locust honey that I like. It's real. It doesn't. Well, it's like one guy was telling me, the darker honey usually has a aftertaste at the end, where a lighter honey just kind of fades away. It's a real smooth texture, and that's kind of how this honey was.
Yeah, and that's a great way to describe it too.
Yeah, it's real smooth. It doesn't have a bite to it at the end. It just kind of fades away, and that's kind of how this honey is. So it'll be all really awesome.
Mine was similar. It was light, but it was delicious. Everything that I got, it was delicious. My brother had never had it because he had come over to help me extract, and he had never had it when it was just flowing out of the extractor. And I told him, I said, when the first bit was coming, I said, Jeff, get your finger down in there, and I said, throw a pair of gloves, get your finger down in there. I said, just wipe. And he was like, man, that is good. I said, it's fresh.
Yeah. I've had it coming out of there like that in years past, especially, a lot of locust in there. Take a spoon in there and get that just as it's coming out, as it's pouring out of the extractor, and taste it. And I'm like, man, this is cotton candy.
Yeah.
It is that sweet.
It was so good. And I'll tell you what, 2 weeks ago when I pulled Charlie, the heat index, it was 105 here. That honey was flinging out of them frames like it was, I mean, about as liquid could be.
Yeah.
I was chomping at the bit to get this honey off, and I got the guy that I help. He's a quarter of a mile up the road from my house. He's got 6 hives, and he'll come over and help me. He'll do a lot of lifting for me with the boxes. So I knew there was, everybody's talked about. I know Brian Flower Street talked about it, where you got like half the frame ain't even filled, or it's not half capped, or it's just a bunch of light boxes. And I went out there and asked him. I said, "Hey," I called him up. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I just got home from work." Now this is the 3rd of July on a Friday afternoon at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I said, "Well, I'm going to have these 10 boxes. I know there's 10 boxes that I can lift and put on there because they're not too heavy." So he got there about the time I got my 10 boxes on the back of the truck, and then we went around to my house and we backed the truck up to a brick porch with a cast iron handrail. And it's nice to have somebody on the pickup truck, somebody on the porch. You just put the box up on the handrail, and then you just carry it right into the house where the extraction is. So then we went back out there and we brought in, I think, another 12 or 14 boxes of honey. And when we got in that truck, now I don't know what is the thermometer in a truck? Is it measuring the outside air, or is it the temperature in the truck, or what? Well, it said it was 111 degrees. And I think it was more like 95 to 100 maybe. But I don't know. I mean, we got out there and got done with it all, and I don't know. I guess because I'm used to farming and out in the hot weather all the time, the next day, I think it was like 4th of July was like close to 100, and the humidity was what really gets you. Yep. And it seemed like to me those days the humidity was worse than the day before. But we got out there and I had 22 boxes, I think it was 22 or 24 boxes in the house. And then I started extracting. That afternoon I extracted some, and then all day Saturday, and then I finished up, I think, Sunday for that first batch. And then the heat wave kind of broke. And then I was able to grab them. I was Monday, my brother was still away, so I got out there. The help was here, and I said, trying to get your help. Somebody that's a non-beekeeper around, I know you're not going to have the bee yard, but can you help me get the boxes in the house?
Yeah.
So I finished up with another 20 boxes in the house that morning.
Wow.
And I just kept pushing on it and all that. So
I'll tell you, this year, the 2 purchases that I made that, like you said, for a non-beekeeper to help out, the 2 purchases I made that made it basically a monkey. I could have set up a monkey in there and they would have done it. I got that heated uncapper, that roller uncapper.
Is that any good?
And let me tell you, it works. I played with the temperatures a little bit, and if you get the temperatures down, like they have it, I think preset to 140. And I thought, it might be a little too hot. So I took it down to like 135. Don't do it. I put it right back up to 140. That darn thing, from like prior, I had knives and I had the forks and that planer tool and all that different stuff. That stuff is junk. I probably will never use it again. The only thing that I'll probably keep around just to have for some frames is the little fork, but that heated uncapper, I set my brother up in there and I would walk the boxes in. I'd blow out, I was using fume boards this year, so that helped out. I'd never used fume boards before.
Yeah, that's what I do. That and a leaf blower, a small one.
Yep. I would walk the boxes up to the building, prop them up, leaf blow out the couple that were left, and then I
Yeah.
was walking the boxes in and setting them on another box. That way my brother wouldn't have to bend down to the ground. I was setting them up pretty good. And literally that thing, it was just boom, boom. You wouldn't have to do multiple passes. It was just one pass. And I did my entire yard, and I probably pulled, as far as wax, well, I've got my wax over there because I rendered it in the past few days with my solar wax melter. I got a block that's maybe, if I melted it all down, that block will probably be 2 or 3 inches thick. And it's like this is all the wax that I got out of all of my hives. Very little. That thing, it was just one quick pass on that
So
thing and uncap it.
You had that the other one, the version that the original was Harmony Farms,
Yeah.
and then he took it and isn't the blades individual as far as spinning or something?
Yes. Each circular blade on it is individual, and it's heated. Now, the Simple Harmony Farms, from what I heard, it was prone to tearing up wax. I had never used it, so I don't know if this is true, but when I was looking at them, people told me, they said, if you want to process wax, go Simple Harmony Farms. They said it's going to do a job, but you're going to get wax. And I'm like, well, whatever. It's just another product that you have. Then when I was looking at the heated one, people said, if you use a lot of wax, that's not the route to go because you're not going to get a lot of wax.
Yeah.
And I said, for me, that's perfect because I don't like dealing with the wax. So you get enough out of it that I'll tell you what, I probably won't sell wax anymore. I'll probably just keep it for re-waxing like my personal stuff. That's it. But Charlie, it worked fantastic. That thing, and then I've got that 20 frame extractor now that I showed my brother, and I went through like loading. I told him, just kind of keep an eye weight wise.
Yeah.
Don't go heavy on one side, because I said,
I go from the uncapping tank. I don't put anything in the uncapping. I just uncap.
Yep.
And I sit there and you can feel it. This is a heavy one.
Yeah.
Well, I always I got 3 spokes in mine. So I put all the heavies at the spokes. And then I get them to where, they're heavy on both sides of the spokes. And then I start going out from that way around. And if I get the light frames, there's a bar in between the spokes is like a support the top and bottom ring. And that's where my light ones will go starting. And then I just start filling out, and I fill out each quarter or each third of the basket.
Mm-hmm.
But I got up to the last 6 boxes this year, and I've had this Max Ant honey plane, and the darn thing, it burned up on me, as far as the heating core.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was
Those are expensive.
Well, they're $200. I called up Max Ant, and they said, yeah, we can send you a new heater mechanism or filament in there. And it was like $35 or something like that. But then I pulled that thing apart. I got off the phone and I went out there and pulled that thing apart to see what I was up against. And you got 15, and this thing was used when I got it, so it's 20 years old. You try to pull that out of there, it is completely
Stuck
fused. It's just been hot so much that you're not going to get it out of there, unless you're and I haven't got it out of there yet. But I'm thinking to myself, the only thing I can think of is take a drill to that thing and drill it out, drill the guts out, and just destroy it on the inside and put the new one in, because all it is looks like a battery with 2 wires coming out about 1.5 feet long. So I called him back. Well, yeah, you could maybe heat it with a torch on the outside.
No, I meant that's the heating element part you're referring to, correct?
Yeah, it's seized in there.
Okay.
But so I called him back up. I said, you send me a new knife. And I tell you, the night before, I had a lot of quite a few frames that were not 100% capped at all. And I had one box there. There was a lot of them that was, you had a little bit here and a little bit there to use that uncapped. I got real good on how to run a uncapping. I thought a capping structure is where you just scratched it. Well, no, that's not how you do it. You fork it, you push it through there,
Yeah.
underneath the cappings, and it lifts the cappings off.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I did 1 or 2 loads. I think it was Wednesday night with a capping fork. I'm like, and these folks that are coming to the show this year for the first time, and they're showing me what they were using as uncapped. They don't have. I think they might have had a hot knife. They didn't like it, and I got a hot knife, and I got that thing out. It's got a rheostat on it and everything. The same guy I bought him when I bought this guy out had it, and I'm like, that thing cuts so much wax off. I mean, it destroys your comb part, the cell part. And if I'm trying to get in like a little divot there, and I'm trying to put the point in there to kind of, get it out, well,
it's a pain.
It just eats a hole right through your nice wax. Where my plane, now something that I do that most people, they show the videos where if you have your frame up on its end, you're supposed to go down the complete frame. Well, I go across 4 or 5 times. And if that frame is uneven, as far as if it's like a curvature in the wax, that plane of mine, I can just run it across and it will flow with the curvature. And it cuts off about it's a sheet of wax. It's about the thickness of a paper towel, maybe an eighth of an inch, a little bit less than the eighth of an inch. And I got that new one. You can adjust the blade depth. And I said, well, that don't look right. I wasn't sure how to measure it, the depth of it. So I adjusted it the first time. I said, well, it's working good, but I think it's going to it's going to cut in there. And what is that?
This is going to be your new toy.
Just buy a Cowan.
Oh, get a Cowan? That's what Bruce needs. He needs.
I'm telling you what, if I had Charlie's money, I'd be dirty mine.
If I had as much honey as Bruce is running through there, I'll have a mini Cowan any day, without even thinking about it.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Or as far as that goes. But anyway, I adjusted a couple times. The third time I got it back to where I kind of figured out how to, I think, measure the depth of cut. But it was like I had frames that were completely covered with wax, and it's like zoom, 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 zoom. And when you get done, your wax is over here in your wax capping box, but it's nothing tore up. It's ready to go again for next year.
Yeah.
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 See, that's why I never really cared for it. And I've never used one, so I can't speak toward this. But a chain uncapper, it seemed like it rips a lot of the comb off of there. If somebody has one, am I wrong about that? But I've never used one, but I've seen people use it.
What's his name? Duck River. Duck River shows it here, the last video he had.
Nathan.
He's got a Maxant chain uncapper.
That's right. He did. I think I did watch one of his videos.
The thing of it is like the Dakota uncapper chain, Maxant chain. It's the same thing. They're both chain uncappers, but Dakota's more just keep feeding it through. It's a quicker action, and it does both sides. And then you've got your Cowan or your you got a license. This for sure. That if you don't have, and I run 9 frame boxes, and you think them bees will draw those frames out? No, they don't. I cannot get them to draw that wax out. Fact.
Huh.
Do you wind up scratching a lot of your frames out of your license automatic uncapper?
No, very rarely.
Are your frames real thick?
Yeah, they typically are. The only ones that sometimes you might have to mess with a little bit, and it's not usually too much, is the first year frames, depending on the space, how you set them up. Most of the time when we put them in there, we're running all 8 frame equipment for reference. I put all 8 frames in there. When they start to draw them out, I'll then pull a frame and I'll spread them out a little bit then. Especially if they start.
I've got that, it's normally a 10 frame box, and I have that 9 frame spracer. plastic sprayer. And I've been doing it for the last couple of years, but they don't seem to draw it out that I see. Not where it would work for an automatic machine.
Yeah, you definitely want it to be a little thicker than what the frame is for sure. That's the key.
Oh,
That's the ticket. I don't remember us actually, Melissa, did we have to scratch many of the frames? So what we do is we'll run them through, and then because that Lyson auto capper, as it pushes them through and through the tank part itself, it'll hold like 30, 32, something like that. We usually start going through there when we slung out. I take a Hive tool and I scrape all the excess burr comb off the top bars, bottom bar, and then the end bars. I scrape any propolis and such down off of those, so that way basically when we go to put them in the extractor, sling it out, pull those combs out, and then throw them back in a box. And the boxes already have the top rests already scraped down. You know, we scrape all the propolis off of those. That way they're basically just ready. I don't have to keep handling them multiple times because I don't want to go back after we extracted everything and go through 300 boxes and clean all of them up. It's much easier to do it while we're already there.
Well, that's what I do.
It takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, I scraped it. You know, I want the burr comb off the top and bottom of those frames to sit in the extractor better and for balance. And then while it's spinning honey in the extractor, I'll take a box outside and I'll, like you say, take the Hive tool and clean all that propolis off the frame rest. And then I even scrape where the bottoms of the boxes, bottom tops of the boxes, so they're clean. And that way they're ready to go. Next spring, you go out there, you pull. When I store 10 frames in the box.
Okay.
And then all I do is pull a frame out, and then they're nice and clean. They will slide sideways when you get ready to put your spacer tool in there and that kind of stuff.
I try and clean up some of my stuff too, but I don't always do the best. I don't always get to everything, but I have been trying to get better with cleaning that kind of stuff because it is easier when you're doing it. You're tearing everything up. Might as well just do it right then.
Well, and then you're already handling that frame. It's already right there. You don't have to put it back in the box, take it back out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just have a few colonies, it's not really a big deal either way, you know. But if you have a lot of supers, it's the more you have, the better it is. You don't want to handle them any more than what you have to because that turns into time very quickly. So that's what we found. Truth.
That is truth.
And then I got and I have a video about this, but I have a homemade solar wax melter a guy made for me. It's within my bee club. And luckily enough, I can take a 10 frame wooden bound queen excluder and put that thing in there. And on 4th of July, every 30 to 40 minutes, I was putting a fresh queen excluder in there that had wax all over it, that was all slammed between all them bars and stuff where the bill. And that's how hot it was. And you talk about a labor saver. I used to go out there and scrape and then take a heat gun and melt, and all that stuff. Well, you get out there with a 95 degree day where it's bright sunshine, put that thing in there in the morning and just close it up. And then I got a pail or a tub in the bottom with a little bit of water to catch the wax. Because after 20 or 18 or 20 screens, you'll have some wax. And that one, like say 4th of July, when I just went out there every 45 minutes and and make sure you got good thick leather gloves on because you're going to get burnt.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And pull it out there. And even with the gloves on, it was hot. Cause I bought another guy out that had one of them screen scrapers, that has the little dips that screens. When you get done with that thing out of that solar wax melter, you'll have like a coating, a light watery coating. I guess it's wax on those bars where it's melted. All the bulky stuff is gone. It's just sort of like a wet coating. And I just run that bar across the bars, and then on the wooden bound, there's always propolis and wax and whatever. And there's nothing, it's just all watery acting. And then I flip that thing around where it's more of a scraper. And I just make sure that I scrape off all the trashy residue. And then I take it to my little building there and just let it sit there and cool down. And just keep putting them in there. I got one more left in there today. It was a good hot day today, and it cleaned it off.
Well, you should have more hot weather coming your way because it was 90, I don't know,
about
90,
100 degrees today.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to get a little bit cooler, and then we're supposed to hopefully have some rain Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to knock it back into the mid 80s. I'll say 85 to 80.
It's still, let me check here. I think they said on the news today here, our low tonight is going to be like 74. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, it's still
right now. Tonight's in the 80s. It's 81 right now.
Yeah, we're 79 right now here.
And I went out there this afternoon. I'm doing an experiment. And those, man, you talk about beards. Everybody was hot out there.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, I got some 10 framers out there where, I got the entrance is wide open. You got screen bottom board. They're hanging down off the front landing board, I don't know, 4 inches or more. And then the whole face of 3 mediums is completely covered with bees.
Yeah.
And all that. And I got a bunch of nukes out there. And I got one 10 framer. It's number 2 hive at the end. And it was one of the hives where let's see, I think I dropped in a 3-pound package with a new queen just to, get rid of the old queen and boost that hive to get it built up. And it, I think, made me a little bit of honey this year, enough to pay for the package.
Yeah.
And, but I just kept adding 3 mediums on there to build it up to a nice full size hive. And I didn't, right now I got all my hives that are out there. I've got quart jar of sugar water on them, and I got them. Most of them are all treated with AprilGuard. I started that Saturday. And then there's some of them that are weak. They are not treated, but they get sugar water. And then I got this one hive that they've packed the honey in and they got brood and all that. And I'm like, you don't need any more sugar water. You got plenty of food in there yourself. So I just treat you and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so hopefully this weekend, and then it's like fooling with Formic Pro. You got to have a 4-day window, 3 to 4 day window there for that stuff when you're putting it in there. Because I went out there 3 days later, and I checked 5 hives, and 4 out of the 5 hives, the cards were completely clean of AprilGuard, and the fifth one had a little bit of white residue, and I didn't get in there with my finger, but I guarantee you, I've seen it before. All it is just like white dried up shaving cream powder where you can just whisk it off. There's no treatment left in there. So, if you got 3 or 4 days of nice weather, I find seems like for 35 grams, if it's going to be 85 throughout the day for 3 days consecutively, it's good for your bees. It's okay for your bees. They're not going to pack up and leave home.
We're going to, I think next week they said our temps are going to dip down a little bit. So we're starting Sunday. It's looking 80 degrees and then like 82. Yeah. 80 on Sunday. 84, then 83, then
our biggest thing here is the humidity is going to drop because of the storms. It's going to go back to, let's say, around 85 degrees. And if I can get, like I say, a 3 or 4 day window there when you first put that next dosage in, and I'm going to hit them again this coming Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And then after that, the following week after that, I'll hit them again with 30 grams. And then I'll be done. I'll be done far as this treatment goes. And then my main goal is last year, it was like, it was my first year using it, even though I had researched the information for a couple of years, and I was concerned what the bee reaction would be at 25 grams versus 35 grams versus the heat at 90 some degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, because of the temperature fluctuation last year, it extended my AprilGuard dosage program for multiple more weeks than I wanted. And it really shut that queen down. I'll have to say that much, because I did not have big, strong hives going into the winter like I normally like to see. Now, Tom, you use this stuff quite frequently, the AprilGuard. I mean, are you comfortable are you doing like a 3-week dosage plan or 4 weeks?
Typically what I try to do is I try to do 2 50-gram doses, because you need to do 100 grams over the course of 30 days or 1 month. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it 2 50-gram doses each for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but what do you when you're doing that kind of a heavy dose? The instructions say 77 degrees or less, but you're not. What month are you doing this? August, July?
July.
You're not going to get You're going to be like we are in the 80s or better, aren't you?
So I look for somewhere between. I try not to be over 83, 84 degrees, and I've had good success with it. They claim that you can go much higher than that, actually, but it's dangerous.
I mean, I'm listening to Bob Benny, that he made a video about this 2 years ago, and he said if it's 95, don't you dare put it on.
Oh, 95 degrees, yeah. That's suicide for the bees. You will run every bee out of that colony.
He said it was in the 80s, and he was putting. I think he misspoke. Like he said, a half dose. Well, a half dose is 25. And I think he said on this one here, it was a double deep. He was putting 30. And then he had a single there that he was putting 20 or 20. I think it was 20 on there at the time. But HJW. So anyway, my thing is I'm going to do 35, 35, 30. Mm-hmm. And
10 days apart.
About 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10
mm-hmm.
days. Yeah. Depends on the weather.
The initial push of that gassing is really the first 2 to 3 days. So if I can get my first few days into the lower 80s, that's when I drop it on. That's my go-to. That's what
I did this last Saturday. It was basically 85 degrees for the next 3 or 4 days, or 4 to 5 days. I did it on Saturday noontime, or somewhere's in that time. Monday evening, I went back to check. I checked 5 hives in a row, and they're clean. They've already gotten rid of all that stuff, took it out the door or whatever they did with it. Hey there, Ian. And
strong colony will haul it out pretty quickly, but the residues are still in there.
Yeah, well, it's in the wax and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, that's what I've come up with. Is I like a 80 to 85 degree window for 3 or 4 day, 3 or 3 day window, 4 day window, and that's the same thing with me and Formic Pro. I want it to be 80 degrees or less for the first 4 days.
Yeah.
And then it will off gas. And then after that, it could be a little higher in temperature, but it's not going to be detrimental to the bees or anything.
Yeah, more often than not, it's a little more safe at that point. But there's still always a trade-off and everything,
Well, I mean, if you go back there like after the second weekend, usually all you got for Formic Pro is just like a bunch of dried up cardboard. I mean, it's done and gone. And all that. And that's kind of like with me and the AprilGuard, when they've got the gel completely off the card within 3 days. I mean, to me, the treatment is still working, obviously, but they've got the, what would you call it? The flash over with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that. But, I'm getting more comfortable using it, knowing what to do with it. And my nukes are 3 mediums tall, so they're 15 frames. So I'm like, with that, even though it's got screen bottom boards and they got an open front on them. Some of them I put 10 grams in there. I know Greg had, I don't know whether he was just doing 5 nukes at the time when he had a crash on that stuff or not. But I know he told me that, his experience with that 4 or 5 years ago. But anyway, I put 10 on some of them and 15 on some of them. I think 15 would have been just fine. Maybe even 25. I don't know whether that would have been too much for a nuke, 15, 5/5/5 nuke or not. But it seems to work quite well as far as cleaning up the hives.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to use any of that stuff this month here. Well, another week or so. But
well, my main thing is I wanted to get the APRIGUARD out of the way, get her back up and running, and I'm feeding her while I'm treating because Benny does the same, and trying to keep her laying. Then I've had a few, like I said in my video, I had 2 or 3 of them there that I thought were queenless when I made that thing, and I went back Sunday morning and I checked those 3 suspicious hives, and 2 of them, yeah, I've seen the queens in there, but they weren't really laying. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe it's because of the heat. It's after summer solstice, and maybe they're just young or whatever. But I put juice jars on them, as I call it, the sugar water, to kind of stimulate them. Now I do have one there that is queenless. It's got full of cells all over the place. I'm like, you got enough time. I'm just going to let you go and requeen yourself. You didn't like the one I gave you, so do it yourself.
Yeah.
And if it don't work, I still got a backup queen sitting there in a nuke that I can drop.
Yeah. I'll be doing that stuff here soon once I go through and check my acceptance from the queens I just put in the other day. So, and today.
Now, did you buy queens, Brian, or did you?
I got. No, I don't want to breed any queens in my yard because every single hive that made their own queen, they were all hot. So I got some Golden West queens.
Yeah,
so
see what happens. All I know. I got one out there that I open them up and they're testy. I won't say they're super hot. They're not like that one you had where they were on you. The one I got is kind of like up. They're up in my face, and they're they're going on around me. And what is your problem?
Yeah,
And I figured they were queenless, and sure enough, I'm like I was in the top of the hive, and I'm like, well, there you are. You're a little black, carny, that I couldn't find.
Yeah,
and I got to the point here this year. I was trying to mark everybody, and it was so time-consuming and difficult. I said, I already know that everybody's a 26 queen this year. So I said, I'm done. And I keep a chart here that I chart everything now when it comes to queens. And I know, when they were put in and what year they are and that kind of thing. I got one hive out there. It's a nuke, and it's just like a skyscraper. I actually pulled a super honey off of it and put in foundation, like give them something to do. And I got some queens from Robert, and they were from Georgia, so they were most likely Italian. And I'm leaning towards going back to, everybody talks about all these other, carniones and all that stuff. And I'm thinking maybe I need to get back to the Italians where they're robust and building up and lots of bees. And if I know, and I know how to, with my demery, I know how to alleviate swarming. Yeah. And maybe that'll give me more brood resources for cell builder and mating boxes. And stuff like that, and not hurt the hives, and not hurt honey production on top of that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens on that thing. But that's sort of my game plan. I'm hoping these queens that I raised this year, I raised a bunch of them last year. They were mostly virgins when I put them in. This year, I didn't have a lot of good success with that, of doing it. And you listen to Bob Benny, and I read the book with, Doolittle, I think it was. Basically what Bob Benny was doing is what Doolittle did 125 years ago. They just say it in different ways. And so I put cells in, drop cells either in the hives and in mating boxes. And then I got busy with farming too at the same time. And I made sure that everybody got a juice jar in them mating boxes. So they didn't have to worry about feeding themselves. And they came back, mated. I had a good mating percentage. And I just let them go for a while. And, and when I did drop them in these, there was several of them that were queenless hives because they were old 24 queens. And they had a complete frame because my mating boxes are full-size boxes that I made. They had a complete frame of, larvae in there and jelly, and I'm talking, almost ready to cap type larvae and stuff like that. And if there was a queen in there, I found her, picked her up off of her frame, put her in a 2-frame box over here by themselves, pulled all that bees and brood and then brand new queen and just put her in the middle of that box and dumped her bees on top of those frames. And then just said, okay, 5 minutes worth of work and you're done. And that's basically what Bob Benny done. He put the queen up on top of the hive above the honey, with a double screen. And when he was ready, he pulled the honey off. And when he was ready, he killed the bottom queen and then flopped the bee, put that new queen down there in the bottom with all her 5 frames of bees and brood and everything. And then put the other the other box on top of her and off. And then, one thing I've had to learn is it's never going to be 100%. You're going to have some failures, and I get irritated with that. It's like, doggone it, I gave you a fine queen here. What's the problem?
Yeah.
I had 2 nukes out here on the end, 2 brand new queens, and I took their frames and let them build in juice jars and everything. And darn if they both didn't go queenless. And I'm like, what the heck?
They don't read the same books that we do.
At all.
Hey, Melissa has had food ready for a little bit, and I'm starving watching her eat.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bow out with you guys. Brian,
I'm going to be very soon too.
I appreciate it.
Charlie,
Charlie,
take care, buddy.
I'm going to go eat. You guys have a good evening.
All right. Good to see you.
See you, fellas.
I'll see you, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Charlie, I'm probably soon too. It's 10:15 and I got to be up at 6 something in the morning. So
whatever you want to do. But anyway, I'm glad it's something that, we have been talking Demery and how to do it and all that kind of stuff. And something that you kind of came up with on your own on this year's Demery was that you came with a schedule of going into those hives or pulling the frames up out of the bottom or whatever. So is that a 2-week rotation that you figured out?
21 day.
All right. So
it's a brood cycle.
Yeah, it's a brood cycle.
Yeah. 21 day. So I did, my day 1 is when I would shift 7 frames up top. And I would leave her.
That many, that's all cap frames like we talked.
So I would leave her with capped brood, 2 frames of capped, and then 1 frame with stores. And you don't want to leave her with any like brand new eggs, larvae. And I don't know what got me doing this, but then when I was talking to other people, they said that's what you should do is when you leave her with capped over brood, that stuff's going to emerge out soon. And then you're going to have a nurse bee population to feed the larvae that she lays up. So you have an adequate population down there. When you shift everything up, then, 7 days later, whatever it is, I would go back 7, 8 days and smash down
we
cells.
discussed that, or 6 to 7 or
Yep.
5 to 6 days, whatever.
Yeah. And then from that point there, once you crush everything down, you're good up to a 21-day mark. And
Now,
then I
were
would
you
just
putting
shift
eggs
it.
upstairs instead of brood?
Yeah, I would throw eggs. I would basically, anything that was not capped, I would throw it all upstairs.
All right, so you're doing the opposite of what I do then. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I always put the capped upstairs and leave her with everything else downstairs.
Yeah. I don't know where I read it, but
I mean, what
said-
you're doing is the
it's similar.
traditional demery,
Yeah.
and I call my stuff sort of the modified.
Yeah. I mean, it worked, I can't complain about it because I got more honey than I ever had pulled before this time of the year.
Absolutely.
So, and I had to, well, I mean, I'm going to have to pull, like I said, Greg said the other day, he said that I probably have 80 to 100 pounds sitting over there. So that'll be my third time that I'll pull. And I'm just like,
where's this other place you're 100 pounds at?
it's in my yard. They're packing in, there's one hive that, I mean, there's a super that every single frame as I was pulling them up, they're capped both sides. I could have pulled the box the other day, but
Really?
I didn't want to mess with, I didn't want to mess with pulling honey.
Right.
So.
Right. No, that's like myself. And this is something that happens to me every year, is that about this time of year or after the honey pull, I get tired, of beekeeping. And it's like, I'll be glad when winter does get here, or I get to the point where I don't have to touch the hives maybe every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or something. Or it's like now with the mite treatments, once I got the shim on and this on and got everything established and all the equipment out there on the hives that I'm trying to work with, then it's like, okay, all I got to do is go out there, pull up a syringe, squirt it on, close it back up, make sure they got a full jar of Pro Sweet on there for the, for the next week.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm like, bing, bang, boom, I'm done, type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do realize that when it comes to honey extraction and putting it in the bucket, that's the big work push.
Yeah.
That, that's the harvest. That's where you're pushing yourself to get all that done.
Yeah.
And as long as you got the equipment. Now in your situation, you've scaled up to where you got that 20 frame extractor, which makes it better. And you got the uncapping machine that seems to be working for you.
Yeah.
And it's like when I went from a 5-gallon bucket to a Hive Butler uncapping tank, that was a huge, I still like it, and it's a lot less messier because it's more I don't know, I won't say convenient, but it just works better. I mean, when I get done in the evening, instead of being exposed, I have a lid. I just snap the lid on and it's nice. You're clean looking.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so once you kind of get the honey processing done, then things kind of, you're not pushing yourself so much. And then here lately, I don't know, some medical issues with me and my lower back. And, when you're walking around in pain, a lot of times that just drains the energy out of you.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
And then humidity. I mean, everybody, I think, is the same way there, that when you can have 80, 90 degree, but if you got low humidity, it's like, it doesn't drain your energy levels.
Yeah. When it's been 2.5 weeks ago now, I caught that darn GI thing that's going around.
I text you. We were texting about that time. Yeah.
And you
didn't catch that newest thing out of the lettuce, did you?
That's what I had.
Is that what it was?
I'm on antibiotics.
I tell you guys, you gotta get away from them greens. That's bad.
I don't even know. like, I don't know where we got it. I don't know if we got it from berries. Like, they're saying now it's from like salad packets. We don't buy those.
Yeah.
We don't buy them. We, like, around that time we had berries. So, but who knows? But like, I was going into my honey extraction, I was already depleted. Like, I mean, you know, I
Yeah,
dropped
you're just
7
you're
pounds in
whipped.
3 days.
Yeah, you're whipped.
And when I was out there working, doing my honey extraction, like both days, like when I was finishing up and just sweating like crazy, my hand was flexing like this. And then I'm sitting there holding it. And, you know, like my brother, you know, he's like, what the heck is going on? I said, my arm is cramped. And if I would let go of it, it was just going like this and just twitching.
I've had that. I've
And
had that.
I mean,
It's like your hand. It's like I couldn't open my fingers up. I had to open it
Yep.
up.
Yep. So
I've had
I've been spent, you know. So, but yeah, I know about that health stuff. And the worst time of the year to get anything that's going to deplete you is when
Right.
I got to do all this stuff.
But
So,
and one thing I have this year that has made me feel good is the fact that I was able to raise all my own queens this year, and they came
That's
back
good.
nice looking and laying nice patterns and stuff.
yeah,
And
that's
that I
good.
was able to take all my production hives and my nukes to pretty much have all, you know, they're all 2026 queens in there. Everybody is completely requeened this year.
Nice.
And I'm hoping that the quality of mated queen that I've got in there, that they will produce a much stronger hive next springtime to
Yeah.
give me a much better honey crop
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And
Legend.
not have maybe the dead out problems, you know, going through the winter
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And because of fresh girls in there and that kind of,
Right.
and that, and then, you know, all that put together, you know, it's just, you strive to, you know, be, I'll say,
Yeah.
perfectionist about it and trying to get these bugs to do what you want to do and at a level and at strength. And it's like,
Right.
in some things you just can't control.
Yeah. So true. So true. Well, Charlie, I hate to, but I got to call a night. I'm going to take the pup out and I'm going to go to bed.
All right. Well, glad to be on tonight. So
Yeah.
everybody will see you Friday night on my chat.
Yeah. I've been so darn. Tomorrow, Keith's told the wife we're going to go to a fair tomorrow. So I'll probably be in the evening at a fair. Friday.
What kind of fair?
It's a county fair.
Oh, just a fair. Not
like going out there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not selling honey is what I'm getting at.
No. We like going out there just to get the fair food. And then they've got all the animals and all that stuff. So we'll be walking around a fair. So Friday, I don't have anything on Friday. Maybe I will pop in.
Yeah,
I've been so behind on that's why I think I put one video out in 3 weeks because I've been so behind on stuff.
I put the video out this weekend and it's been a while, but it has been so hot.
Yeah.
And it's like going out there 4th of July where it was 100 and some degrees.
Yeah.
It's like, I am not setting up a video camera. I want to go out, get the boxes, get it on the truck and get it in the house and get back in the air conditioning as fast as possible before I pass out. So, this weekend, if the weather cooperates as far as in between rain showers, and I hope it does rain. If it rains all day Saturday, we're definitely in a major drought here. It has some rain. It's kept us going, but we really need a lot of rain. And but I want to do a follow-up on my apricot and try to get the information out there about how to apply it and what I'm doing, or at least show people what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try to find that hive that has the dried up cream or foam in there from that stuff and say, look, this, you might see this. Well, it ain't no big deal because you can just take your finger and it's like dust.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and all that and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, try to put out some good educational type videos.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Sounds
guys
good.
and gals, we're glad to see everybody come in tonight
Yeah.
and join us.
We will see everybody.
All right.
There's going to be no outro this time. I'm just hitting it. Just
Oh,
end.
is that what I was looking for the outro?
No, it's just going to end. Everybody, you take care. I appreciate everybody.
All right.